Ford is planning to launch a new electric pickup in a couple of years, and we may have found the plans for it. Hi, I'm Gary Gastelou, and this is A Car Report. Ford is working on a next generation electric pickup that's going to be following the F-150 Lightning in a couple of years, but it's going to take longer than originally expected. Ford initially planned to have it on sale in 2025, but it's delayed that now until late 2027 due to projected market demands. It's going to be selling a lot fewer F-150 Lightnings this year than it originally expected, so it's not rushing to the new truck. But it's still working on it, although it has revealed very little about it, besides Ford CEO Jim Farley describing it as a Millennium Falcon with a back porch attached. This, a paraphrase of a PJ O'Rourke quote, where he said pickups were back porches with engines attached. Now, we're pretty sure he didn't literally mean it looks like the Millennium Falcon, although having the cab next to the bed, which is essentially the layout of that spaceship, would be pretty cool. But I think really what he was talking about was that it's gonna have a futuristic style, kind of like the Tesla Cybertruck. In fact, it might look more like the Cybertruck than you might expect. In an effort to figure out what Ford does have in mind for this thing, we've been going through a number of patents that it has applied for on technologies related to electric pickup trucks. And they're all drawing a picture of a pretty interesting vehicle. One that we found is a reimagined version of the front trunk or frunk that the F-150 Lightning and also the Cybertruck have. In this case, instead of just literally being a front trunk, it's equipped with a drawer-like structure that has storage inside of it and also could be used as a workspace. And there's also cubbies with power supplies for electrical equipment. And while that's very interesting, the patent sketches feature a truck with a very different look from an F-150. It has a blunt nose and barely any hood, much like the Tesla Cybertruck. Now, patent drawings are often intentionally vague because they don't want to give away any more than the technology they're talking about for the patent. But the shape of the truck they chose to go with for this one is so specific and different from a regular F-150 that it suggests this is a direction they're thinking of going in. And while it doesn't look like a Millennium Falcon, it does have a very different style from a traditional pickup truck, like the one in another patent we found that seems to tie into the whole back porch idea. It's for what Ford describes as a pivotable cab back assembly for a vehicle and cab back assembly pivoting method. Basically, it's a hatchback that can be opened to connect the cab and bed of a unibody electric truck, and it specifically refers to unibody electric trucks. Now, GM already has something like this. They call it the Multiflex mid-gate, but that folds down into the truck to open it up, while this one does a few different things. First, it can be flipped up 90 degrees and supported on stanchions, which creates what very much looks like a covered back porch. How else would you describe it? You can also open up 180 degrees and it's hinged at the middle, so you can fold the lower section down to make a smaller roof, which Ford shows can be used to support a tent that covers the entire truck, including the bed. Neat thing about this is, since it's an electric truck, you can use the air conditioning or heater from the vehicle all night long without having to worry about getting any emissions in that tent. It's also possible to just open the lower portion 90 degrees and use that as a workbench. Ford is all about work trucks, and having one with two workbenches seems right up its alley. Now, as far as the platform this will be built on, we've already pretty much established it's going to be a unibody vehicle, so there won't be a separate body and cab. And another patent for, quote, vehicle chassis with interchangeable performance packages and related methods, close quotes, lays out what the platform might look like. Ford's come up with basically a 3-section chassis, battery in the middle, sub-assemblies for the motors and suspensions on either end. And it's not only designed to accommodate a variety of battery pack sizes, but the way the subframes are designed, you can flip them over to increase the ride height of the vehicle you're building. Now, this isn't to say Ford's created a transformer here that's going to do some crazy thing when you press a button. This does seem to be about the assembly process and using all these different parts interchangeably to build many different types of trucks. As with all patents, some, all, or none of this may end up on the final vehicle, but I really think that hatchback or something like it is a sure thing. And again, those sketches for the trunk are just so specific it's hard to imagine Ford isn't heading in that direction if it keeps heading in this direction. It's already changed plans for the launch of this truck a couple of times and is also working on a smaller mid-size electric vehicle that's supposed to come out a little earlier in the year in 2027. When we find out more about both of these, we will of course let you know as soon as we can. So head over to AmericanCarsAndRacing.com every day for the latest automotive news.